Welcome to day 2 of bootcamp, and today we're talking all about creating that 5-star listing for your shop. I don't want you to spend too much time overthinking this, but I want you to take the brainstorm list that we did yesterday and pick the one product that you are most likely to actually make and sell or list in your shop. And so I don't want this to take more than 2 to 3 minutes. For some of you, I hope that this product just automatically you know which one it's going to be. And then we're going to move on and we are going to create a 5-star listing for that one product. I also want you to open the 5-star listing printable that I sent in the email. Brownie points if you've already opened it and printed it. But if not, go ahead and press pause and print that out because it's going to be super helpful for following along today. And also we will be using that again tomorrow. I could sit here for the next 15 minutes and talk to you guys about SEO or search engine optimization, but I feel like I might as well be talking to you in a foreign language. So we're going to skip all that SEO jargon and I'm going to tell you in a way that is a lot more understandable how we can make your listings also be SEO friendly. Before we go any further, here's a disclaimer. I know that some of you are selling on Etsy, through WooCommerce, Shopify, Square was one I recently heard of. Some of you are selling on Facebook or Facebook Marketplace. So we're all selling on different platforms and listings can be different on all those different platforms. That's why I've picked some of the main parts of a listing to focus on, such as the title, the description, the tags. If there's any portion of a listing that you have that we don't touch on today, I just want to tell you to make sure and fill out as much about a listing as possible because that's only going to help you be found within search results. If you leave an area of a listing blank, you're only forfeiting the opportunity to show up in those search results from Google to Etsy to anywhere else people might be searching keywords that have to do with your product. I also want to mention for those of you selling on Facebook, using the title and description portions of this lesson are going to be so helpful for writing out your post when you're trying to sell in a group or on a Facebook page. So let's dive in, busy people, because we don't really have any time to waste. We want to get these listings looking good and we want to do it quickly. First, let's focus on your product title. What I want you to do is come up with 3 different product titles. And so I know that that might seem a little difficult, but you almost need to think like yourself and what title you would put on your product. But then I want you to think like one of your buyers and think, do they have a different way or would they title this product differently? And so here's what I mean. Last week, I got on the phone with one of my Instagram followers and she asked if she could ask me some questions about making her titles and her descriptions a little better and more SEO friendly. And so when we got on the phone, I was asking her like what she's selling and things like that. And so she told me about her bodysuit products, which are baby bodysuits, the one pieces. I refer to them as onesies. However, it is copyright term, so she's not able to refer to them that way on Etsy. And I told her, I said, I want you to make a title. So if your example was Christmas bodysuit, then I want you to think about another way you could name your product. So from Christmas bodysuit, could you call it Santa's Little Helper bodysuit? Could you use a different word besides bodysuit, like one-piece outfit? Or my example was onesie until she informed me she can't use that word. And so here's another example. I'm from Northern Illinois originally, and when I moved to Florida, I called shopping carts carts and I called soda pop pop. And then I met my husband who calls shopping carts buggies and soda pop soda. And so in different parts, even in the United States, we're referring to things in different terms and different words. And that's what I want you to do. I want you to think about if your product is called something else in another part of the United States or even the world if you're selling internationally. I know that in the UK, they refer to things a little bit differently than we might here in the United States. So by putting those different titles together, you can target 3 different searches. So if somebody is searching for baby bodysuit, you can be found when they search baby bodysuit. If they're searching for Christmas one-piece outfit, you could also potentially be found in that type of search, and so on. And so when you make your title, I know it might look a little sloppy, but it really is helping you. An example of a t-shirt that I have in my shop, it is a chaos coordinator design and it has like a little apple on the shirt. And so I might title that as a teacher chaos coordinator t-shirt, and then I'll use a little dash and I'll do shirt for teacher. I'll do a dash and I'll do one other name. And then I might even put in there free shipping so that my product is coming up 3 different ways. When you string those 3 titles together in your Etsy title, that is going to help you boost your SEO. See, we didn't have to talk about all the SEO jargon, but we're still doing SEO. That's going to help boost your SEO for that product. And I don't want to work far ahead, but it's also going to help you when you do your product tags. You can pull product tags from the words you're using in that title. Let's talk about product description. The part some buyers read religiously and the part some buyers don't bother to read at all. So product description is going to be our biggest focus for today because it contains the most information about your product. Regardless of if your buyers are reading your description or not, you need to have it completely filled out to boost that SEO. You can format your description in so many ways, but long paragraphs are not received well. We're living in a time where people don't want to take the time to sit and read paragraph after paragraph about a product they're going to purchase. So the best way to do this is to use bullets or emojis or other ways to break your product description up into possibly short phrases or just a couple words that they can skim and read really quickly. If you're using something like emojis or bullets, make sure that you don't overdo it either. Your description needs to contain everything a buyer needs to know about your product if there were no product image. So let's pretend we're selling on a platform that only allows descriptions and does not allow any product pictures. I don't know who would shop there, but we're just going to pretend that. Tell them about your product. I want you to tell them what materials you're using, how it feels to the touch. I want you to talk about color and the options they have when they order. Include care instructions and your shipping and handling time. Everything about shipping is great to include in your listing too. Another way that you can boost the SEO of your listing or even just beef it up is to include frequently asked questions in the answers. So are there certain questions that you're getting over and over from your buyers? Because if so, that's a great opportunity to turn it into an FAQ section in your description and answer those questions right away. You can weave in how you make your product, the creation process that you go through, and anything else that you find to be extremely valuable to your buyer and what they may be looking for before making that purchase. I hate to say it, but having an amazing product description can also serve as a CYA. And excuse my language, but that would stand for cover your ass clause. And sadly, I've had to use this a few times, even recently, where a buyer has purchased without reading that description and then ended up upset. So I've had to kind of use my product description to say, hey, I'm sorry that you're having this issue, but if you go back to my product description, it says XYZ. We are selling in a time where Amazon can literally have a product on a seller's doorstep the same day they purchase it. And so that makes it a little bit harder as a creator because I know personally, I don't make a t-shirt until somebody orders it. I don't have the space. I don't have the overhead. I don't have the money or the time to just have a whole warehouse full of shirts I can just pull off the shelf. So use that description area to really educate your buyers on what their expectations should be when they're ordering from your shop. Around Father's Day, I had a buyer purchase something from my shop, and I guess she also purchased from another Etsy shop on the same exact day. And so about 5 days later, she's messaging me, sending me screenshots of how she's already received the other product that she ordered. It shipped the same day and it arrived within like 3 business days. So total pat on the back to that seller. But I have in my description that it takes 7 to 10 business days for me to even make your product. And then you do have to wait for shipping time. So she was highly upset. She said, I don't understand how I bought both of these products. One has shipped and arrived and yours hasn't even shipped yet. So very kindly, I had to screenshot my own description and send it to her and say, hey, I'm so sorry, but in the listing, I described that this is how my process works. So I am getting your product ready and I'm making it, but it won't ship out until, and I gave her a date. So I do think I tried to ship her product out the very next day, which I normally may not have. But it's really important to have that. If I wouldn't have had that in my description, I kind of would have been sitting there like, yeah, I'm sorry, and then had an upset customer. Instead, she received her product by Father's Day, which is what she was looking to do. She was looking to get that product for a Father's Day gift, and she was still able to go back, and she left me a good review. So making sure that you're communicating that to your customers is paramount. My last tip for creating that product description is to weave in phrases and words that you think your buyer is going to use when they search for your product. And so those 3 titles that we came up with, it's great if you can weave those titles some way into your description. So what I try to do is write a couple sentences at the beginning of each description to kind of catch my buyer's attention. That way they may continue to read some of that important, pertinent information. But in those sentences, I try to include at least 2 of the titles that I use in my product title. So for my friend that was selling the bodysuits, I told her maybe in one sentence, refer to your product as a baby bodysuit. In the next one, refer to it as a funny baby outfit. And in the third one, refer to it as a baby t-shirt. So those are all 3 different terms or phrases that somebody might search for on Etsy if they were searching for a funny baby one-piece outfit. If this part has you a little discouraged and you're still really unsure of some of those phrases or titles, one really good thing to do is to go on Instagram and look up a hashtag that pertains to your product and kind of go through and see what are other people referring to this product as, other people that might be selling it or just posting about it. Maybe they've come up with a really unique way to refer to their product or a way to refer to it that you wouldn't have thought of. And I'm not saying go out there and steal people's ideas, not at all, but I'm just saying let their ideas and their terminology kind of guide you in coming up with your own original description and wording. Which brings us to product tags. Product tags are words or short phrases that people will use to search for your product, and they help boost your SEO. So with those words and phrases that you've come up with for your title and then used in your description, those are obviously going to be your go-to for creating those tags. And I want you to make sure you're using single words. If you're just using phrases, you're kind of committing yourself to having somebody search for that specific phrase. So if you used baby bodysuit and funny bodysuit as 2 tag phrases, but somebody searched funny baby shirt, you may not come up in the search results, or at least not in the higher search results. You're going to be back on page 6. But whatever you do, I want you to make sure that you are using all the tags that your platform allows you to use. So Etsy gives you 13 tag places. You need to make sure you're putting in 13 tags. I don't care if you have to start coming up with just silly things like using colors or the materials, which you should be doing anyways. But even if it's feels like a stretch, make sure you're including those 13 tags. Let's flip the worksheet over to the other side. And now I want to talk about shipping. So I know you may not have this product actually made. You might have to make it and package it to get your exact shipping price. Shipping is going to be a big part of coming up with your product price, especially if you offer free shipping. You need to make sure you're building that shipping price into your actual listing price if you offer free shipping. I'm not asking you to eat the shipping costs because that's just crazy. And newsflash, people really do love free shipping. Sometimes I don't think they realize that they're still paying it in that product listing price. But I know there's nothing more frustrating than putting something in your cart and then going to checkout and seeing that the shipping price is outrageous. I don't know how many times I've left a website because I'm not paying that shipping price. So when I ship my t-shirts, I know that a 2XL is the largest t-shirt I offer, therefore it's going to weigh the most. And so I take that weight of the shirt inside the shipping bag and all packaged up, and I know that it's 7 ounces. So what I do is I base my shipping prices off of the 7 ounces. And I live in Florida, so I try to use a shipping zone that is the furthest away from me. and I like to use the zip code 90210 because it's very memorable. I know that if I sell a shirt smaller than a 2X, that shipping price is only going to be lower. So I use that highest shipping price and I build that into my product listing price when I offer free shipping so that I'm never out money. Now, if you are using a platform that calculates the shipping cost for you, that's amazing and so convenient. So kudos to you. I'm not going to talk too much more about shipping because I have an entire day dedicated to pricing and an entire day dedicated to shipping and packaging. But I do hope that you can at least estimate a shipping price so that you can use that for tomorrow's lesson. On the worksheet, I have included a few other boxes that you can use just to make things a bit easier. I'm not going to go very deep into those. They're pretty self-explanatory. I wanted to include them on the worksheet to make everything streamlined for you and get your wheels really turning. Things just flow a little easier when I am using a pen and writing on paper than they do when I'm sitting staring at a computer screen. So that's why I put this whole worksheet together. So if you've gotten this far, and here's where I say stop, wait a minute, let's take a selfie. If you are on a desktop computer, I want you to take a selfie with your phone and post it on Instagram, tag me, and use hashtag HHBootcamp. I just want to know how this whole bootcamp is going for you, what you're learning, and what questions you might have. If you're using a device, screenshot and share. So we're stopping here for today, and I want you to stop with the worksheet. I don't want you to go on to pricing because tomorrow we are talking all about pricing. Meanwhile, like I said, if you have any questions about what we've gone over today or even yesterday, you can message me on Instagram at PoofyCheeksBlog or send me an email at kelseysap@poofycheeks.com. I will see you back here tomorrow, same place, same time.